But more than anything else that I want to say about him, he's a man of conscience. He does what he feels is right, whatever the political fallout. And I just want to say thank you, and to just introduce Senator.
Was a Russian Jew before the Soviet Union came into existence. He was 18 in 1911, and the Tsar wanted to send him to Siberia, which is what the Tsar was doing with all the young Jewish potential troublemakers. But he didn't want to go to Siberia because he heard it was cold there. He wanted to go to Kansas. It was a close call. And one short story, he had a brother in New York City, but he didn't have an address, but he had the name of the bank. His brother had sent him a check. So he went to the street corner. He knew New York only had 5 million people. And he waited there for hours hoping to see his brother. So finally his brother passed by. And my father in Yiddish rushed up to his brother and said, "Yesel, yesel, did do greater Aaron." And Yiddish, "Joe, I'm your brother Harry." His brother looked at him and said, "If you miss my greater Aaron, come here. If you are my brother, come with me." And that started his life in America. The contributions which you have an opportunity to make in the Senate, you have many of my colleagues here who are great. I will comment on just one. In 1990, Prime Minister SHMIDT asked me to get a letter to send to, maybe it was 1989, Gorbachev to establish direct flights between the United States and Israel so that the Jews could integrate. And I won't give you the details, but we got all 100 senators to sign, including Senator Lieberman, who was elected in 1980. Senator Lugar was one of the first to sign. Senator Prussia was not there at the time. So thank you for the award.
Well, listening to Senator Inouye tell his story, I've only been in the Senate for a few years. And Scoop Jackson has been a long-time hero of mine. I went to Georgetown for college and for medical school, and for all the years of college, as I would walk, and this was in the early 70s, to the campus, there was a big sign that said, "Free Soviet Jewry." And that stuck with me. My greatest friends, I talked to him last night, Mitchell Shore, his mother in the 70s was going to Russia to work on this. It was the year I graduated from college that Scoop Jackson was able to get the United States to pass into law the law that put up regulations against Russia if they did not allow immigration. And what Shuvu has done to help 15,000 students return to the homeland, return to Israel, return and flourish and become educated as the doctors and the lawyers and the architects, and be so involved in an incredible story of success. So I am humbled today. I want to thank you for this incredible award from someone who I've always looked up to in very big ways. It's good to be here with Senator Lieberman. He and I and John McCAIN and also John Thune were in Israel again. This was my third trip. I've only been in the Senate 3 years. It was my third trip in January to visit with Prime Minister Netanyahu and others. And I believe, as we saw on the streets in Israel, that the friendship between our two great nations and the fight and the dedication to freedom and to liberty and to opportunity must remain forever. Thank you so very much for honoring me.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Over here between such a distinguished group of people who are worrying for the survival of our nation and the United States, there couldn't be anything better. And to introduce Ron Klein, a landsman of ours, it is that much nicer and better.
Good afternoon. It's more of a landsman than you think. My grandfather was from Transylvania.
Oh, no, you see what we have in common.
That's right. Good pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for being here today. And as we all know, this is obviously a very important time for a whole community. But I just want to share with you, sometimes we talk about the big issues, but sometimes there are very small issues we work on in Congress as well. And you know about the big health care bill that was discussed and debated back and forth. But there was a particular part of it that we focused on at the very end that was very important to our community. And that was the notion of the insurance companies shouldn't be able to bounce out or eliminate our adult children, 21, 22. Some states had that rule. And a lot of people in my community said to me, hey, we have married couples that are young, still dependent on their families in our Jewish community. Why not allow them to still participate in their health care plan under the parents? And that's part of the bill. So that's a small little thing that came from our community, but that's how grassroots politics sometimes works. I want to thank you for the great work you've done. I, along with all these members, Democrats and Republicans here, are absolutely 110% committed to Israel's right to self-defense. And one of the things I'm actually going to in about 45 minutes, I'm meeting with the ambassador from Turkey and some high-level people from the Turkish parliament. This is a serious time for the United States and Turkey. And obviously we know the long history of good relations between Israel and Turkey and the United States. But they have made some very bad decisions lately, and the flotilla is the most recent one. So we're going to deal with this. There are consequences for that type of behavior, and we want to obviously work together, but if not, there are consequences. Let's work together to make sure Israel is always, eternally, in Jerusalem, the capital of Israel, and our most strong ally in the world. Thank you.
Welcome, Senator Mike Crapo. I've just returned from China with another great Idahoan, Governor Butch Potter. But Senator Crapo has learned that in many cases a willingness to listen makes an effective leader and lawmaker. Talking welcome, Senator Mike Crapo.
What Shuvu has done to educate Israel's children, and what all of you have done collectively to stand for a strong Israel is critical to all of us. And I stand with all of my other colleagues here to tell you that we remain committed to ensure that Israel has a strong ally in the United States, and that we continue to make sure that Israel has the right to defend itself with our support under all circumstances. And thank you again very much.
One, two.
Senator Ron Wyden. Senator Ron Wyden was elected to the Senate in 1996, representing the state of Arlen. Senator Wyden prides himself on being part of the Senate minion and supports a very strong U.S.-Israel relationship. Please join me in welcoming Senator Ron Wyden.
I'm barely a household word in my own household, let alone your home. But what an amazing, amazing judgment about the United States, that we have a minion in the United States Senate. I am the minion maker in the Senate. Who would ever thunk that? I note that a lot of you are from New York. There are probably more Jews in a couple blocks in Brooklyn than there are in my home state. The reason your work is so important is Shuvu's values are American values. The organization and your focus on education and on the close U.S.-Israel relationship is exactly what we want to teach our kids. I have twins. They're 2.5 pictures available on my iPhone. And the highest hope I have from them is that they pick up on the kinds of values you all are trying to impart. It's what Scoop Jackson lived for as our great advocate in the Pacific Northwest. God bless. I'll do everything I can to have your back on the key issues of our time. Thank you.